Hello, Bulldog Nation. Week 3 of the football season. Coach, last week go over to Elsick, pull off a great win, first win of the season, plus first win as head coach here. Congratulations.
Appreciate it.
We were talking before we walked in here. I don't know if you'll get another kickoff deep after Keenan Lawrence takes his second one to the house.
Right.
That does go back into preparation. Tell me what you've done on being prepared for that in one of the 3 phases of the game.
Yeah, we have pretty much co-special teams coordinators, Coach Kazi and Coach McGraw, and they do a great job of preparing the kids every week for special teams. We have a full-blown special teams meeting every Monday, dictating what we want to do, and then every day we start practice with special teams. So they get individual work, they get group work. Our JV does a good job of servicing the varsity with their to get a good look during the week of practice. So they take pride in it. As far as Keenan, he's very talented in seeing the lanes and being able to get to them, but everybody else on the field is doing their job too. I hope people keep kicking it deep, and I've been impressed and pleased with our kids' performance on kickoff return.
Well, there has to be a block to make the lane open.
Right.
And you saw that, especially the Deer Park game. There was a couple lanes opened up for him, the cutback lane. Once he got outside, he did make a great, leaped over his own teammate.
Yeah.
It was trying to block downfield for him, and then you go into there. Moved the ball well. A few adjustments on the offensive side going into last week.
I think it's just more of the experience of execution. The first game it was real fast bullets for the first time, and maybe the game kind of slowed down for the players this week. Yeah. Understanding, and we got in. The big thing after the first game was Saturday morning. Every player was here, like they were here, ready to get better, and every day after that they continued to work hard and get better, and then like I told them after the game, Friday night with the win, this is the result of all your preparation and your work, over the past 5 months, So I think it was just, calming down, understanding, learning to execute, seeing what we did wrong in the first game and correcting it and moving forward.
A lot of people don't understand. You bring in new packages, and these are high school students, and they have to learn their new assignments, and they have to know what their job is. That first week we throw them out there against Deer Park, and the distractions and everything happen. We go into Elsick, you see them settle down a little bit, and then you come back into the third week, the week we're going to talk about now, and it's homecoming.
Right.
Do you see any distractions so far that you'll need to work on for this week?
Really, the players have handled it real well. There's been places where I've been where homecoming is a distraction, but I haven't seen it from our players this far this week. I was more concerned about Monday being Labor Day because,
yes.
And I will give our players a lot of credit, freshman level all the way up. We had great numbers of attendance on Monday. Usually you worry about the sub-varsity teams,
yes.
But really good attendance. Our players are here. I think they're excited. Every team in our program won last week, so I think that's the players are ready to continue that, and it showed by their attendance on Monday.
We normally don't touch a lot on the underclassmen, but freshman A is now 2-0.
Right.
Beat Deer Park
37-6.
37-6. They won this past week.
42-0.
Yeah,
the game ended actually 6 minutes early. So
running clock.
Right.
And ended it early. A lot to look forward to as we come into this. As you grow this season, as you move things around. Going into Goose Creek Memorial this week.
Right.
Homecoming. Tell us a little bit about Goose Creek Memorial on the offensive side.
Yeah, their quarterback makes them go. You lose contain on him, he can make you pay. So we got to keep him in the pocket, make sure we tackle well. That's one thing we've been working on this week is tackling well. Elsick had an athletic quarterback that could run as well.
Yes.
We got to do better at making sure we're tackling at the first opportunity instead of letting them slip through and then rally into the football. I think if we can get to their quarterback, I think we'll have a successful night. That's the guy that makes them go.
Defensively for Goose Creek, it's kind of practice against it a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
What do you see? Is anything that changes this week in preparation for your offense?
Well, they're an odd front on defense, so which Elsick ended up being against us, and Deer Park, kind of a modified odd front. So as far as like rules and execution and all that stuff, it's pretty much the same. Blocking schemes and not having to change a lot for our kids, and it's just getting better at the little things. Taking a good step, finishing blocks. All that type of stuff. But GCM, defensively, their first game they lost in overtime to Galena Park 36-35, and that was kind of a back and forth game where they didn't do very well on defense, and then they come out last week against Houston Bel Air and win 51-7, where they did play well on defense. So, we need to be ready for their best night.
They've improved dramatically from last year also.
Right.
Second year package coming in, they didn't lose a whole lot and bring everybody back in. I think it's going to be a little bit different team than what we faced last year going into this game. One of the things that also I want to touch about, we normally don't do this either, is tell me a couple people that stood out last week grading wise. Who did anybody grade above what they did from Deer Park?
Yeah, I think the whole entire offensive line, graded way better. I know you said individual people, but that group as a unit played way better against Elsick than they did against Deer Park. So I'd give them all of those guys, some pluses. And I feel like our quarterback played better. I think he played, Jamad Jackson played more within himself and more within the offense and not trying to force things. I think, those two groups, played definitely better. I believe our running backs played better. The whole entire offense played better, graded better. But I think the offensive line more so than anybody on the field. And then defensively, I thought our secondary played a lot better and getting lined up quicker and coming down and making tackles and understanding where they fit on the defense and also not blowing hardly any coverages at all. Had a couple interceptions in the game, one big one in the end zone. Austin Leal had an interception in the end zone, which it kept them from scoring. So I think the secondary for sure.
A lot of people want to tell you that the third week tells you the most about your team. That you get through this, you get into this week. We talked about Labor Day. Everybody showed up. You made the comment that they're willing to be here. They've done what they want to. We've always decided that, or we've always thought as third week, this is where it's going to be. Do you feel like your team this is the right week for them?
Yeah, I feel like everybody's on the same page of every week we're going to get better. But I do believe, we've had, so far this week we've had great preparation, and practice has been good. I feel, we start practice every day with a drill called pitch sweep, where it's good on good offense versus defense, and it's the defense knows we're running the ball, and the offense knows we're just going to run the ball, and it's a tough man competition. So,
yes.
Monday the offense got it, yesterday the defense got it. So, it shows the competition and the kids stepping up and facing adversity, and I believe our kids are understanding that, when bad things happen, we can still turn it around and have good things come ahead. So, yeah, I believe week 3 will be a big week for us.
The website went live 2 weeks ago, lpisdathletics.com. You can also pick it up at lpisd.org. Who's writing the articles for football?
Yeah, Coach Ligon writes. It's actually a group of coaches. So whoever's the head coach of that team writes the article. Coach Ligon then edits and because he's an English teacher, so
yes.
He's making sure everything goes through him, and edits and corrects any, punctuation or whatnot. But it's a bunch of different coaches. Coach Ligon is the one that writes the varsity articles.
Well, I've had more compliments on the articles of being able to go in and see the kids, know who they are and how it was coming across. It's been a great job by him. I want to pass that along to him.
Appreciate it.
The website is going to be a tool for us at some point when we get into recruiting, and while we're doing it, we used it during the game against Deer Park. We used it the other night, and the volleyball game I used it for a little bit to just pull up and familiarize myself with the players. They're doing a great job. Folks, we will be here hopefully every week this season. I know last week was a little hectic with us, but we'll be here every week this season. Check it out, lpisdathletics.com. That's our website. Coach Bernethia and I will see you next week. See you Friday. homecoming, distinguished alumni and citizen will have a luncheon in the Bulldog Center. They'll be out on the field, I think, before the kickoff, and then homecoming at halftime. We'll be there. See you there. Thank y'all for watching.